Welcome to Make Your Mark podcast, where guests share their experiences, insights, and tactics to help you accelerate your business. So building, scaling, and monetizing your business is made easier. And I will be your host, Kay Suthar. Oh my goodness, guys, I have got an amazing guest for us today. He is the ultimate connector that understands the benefits of building relationships in your business, no matter what stage you're at. In fact, he has created the most effective connecting and referral tool in the world. This is the reason why I knew I had to have Steve on this show, because there's a lot of us out there with businesses and not too sure how networking can be incorporated or how to do it very well in business. And so today we've got Steve Ramona. I mean, he is an absolute rock star. Steve Ramona, he's the global sales director and partner. And today he's going to be talking about the secret behind networking and building relationships. Steve, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you on this show.
I am too. I've been looking forward to this all week because you're so much energy. You get me fired up.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
And so, oh my goodness, I've got so many questions for you, Steve. But before we kind of get into the nitty gritty and dive in really deep, I want you to tell the audience today, a little bit about your background and what you were doing and how you even came up with this kind of business.
Well, that's a great question. Way back in my young days, my dad was a contractor. He built homes for about 40 years, but he worked on his own. I never saw him work for somebody. He always had his own business. So that got embedded in me of like, hey, this is pretty cool. My dad's got this free time. He could leave work, go watch me play football. And it stuck in my brain as I grew and became an adult. I've had one job. I hated it. I sold picture frames between senior high school and college, and just to make some money going into it. I didn't like it, but I did it because I wanted the money as a high school kid, right? Fish in high school. And then I got involved with health clubs, and my family started health clubs and did that for 20 years, became a very integral part of that. So to me, it was my business because I really worked it that way. It was because it's my family, it kind of inbreds the stillness of work hard. I mean, we worked Thanksgivings, Christmases, because we had to close. And that we worked a lot. It was great. But by the time we were able to sell, it really opened my eyes up to, I need to do something on my own. So I was able to do some small network marketing business. I did that for 15 years. But in the midstream of that, I started a recycling business and had 2 employees and did that for 7 years. It was a great learning experience. And if you have the aptitude, audience, of starting something, give it a shot. Because I had great 7 years. I did have to close it, but I learned so much about networking, dealing with people, dealing with employees, and all that goes with it. What a great learning experience. I don't think I would have got from college.
Wow, no, most definitely not. Do you know what? It's funny because, first of all, you have learned from a young age. You saw it in front of your eyes with your family, right? How this works. And you knew that, okay, a job wasn't for you, even though you were doing it. This is not where you wanted to be at. And so you're absolutely right. The schools do not teach this kind of stuff. Real life experience, right? And so having that in front of you and seeing that and growing up, I guess, you got a kind of shortcut to learning all this because you saw all of this that many people don't have. And so
Correct.
Networking, you mentioned networking, you got involved in that and you wanted to develop that as well. Why was that? Did you feel like there was a need, or did you see a need that something needed to change when it came to networking?
I did. I think networking, and I think a lot of people in your audience will agree, it's vital for your business. Albert E. Gray, he's got an article called Common Denominator of Success. The number one habit he learned from 1,000 of the top successful people in the world back in his time was contacting people. That's the first habit that you have to have. And what is networking? Going out and contacting people, meeting people, building relationships. And it's been vital for my InPhone business because I started in October 2020 with InPhone. Learned, loved it, said, this is what I'm looking for. I've had the experience of what we solve. And I just jumped in November and I just started networking. I did 15 networking groups a week. My goal was practice my presentation, build relationships, and set up one-on-one meetings.
But Steve,
Go ahead.
you make this sound really easy, right? There's people out there. I know because I've spoken to them. They're like, oh my goodness, I can't come and speak to all those people, right? And I guess people have that fear, like, I can't go to a room of people, a crowd of people, and just start speaking with strangers. So what would you say to someone like that that's just starting out in business?
That's a great question. One, I'm going to be very frank with the audience is if you can't do that, don't start your own business. There's nothing wrong working for somebody, working 8 to 5, but put your whole heart into it. Work your 8 to 5 like you own that company. I know you don't own it. You don't make the money. But if you work that way, good things will happen to you in the universe. If you want to learn, there's coaches out there. I can help. But just go out and do it. Being uncomfortable is comfortable when it comes to business. You're going to be uncomfortable. But if you can take that and turn it into a positive, another habit that I suggest is persistence. You're going to jump on a meeting. You're going to screw it up. Your presentation sucked. That's okay. You have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then do it again. I sucked, excuse my language, the first week. I didn't know what I was talking about. I changed my presentation probably 5 times in that first week because I was looking at people and feeling out how they reacted to the words I was saying. The second week I got better. By the end of the month, my presentation and my elevator pitch, which we call it, was rock solid because it was focusing on here's what we do. I'd love to connect with you and see how I can serve you. So walk into networking with the mentality of serving others and building that, you'll be super successful with your business.
See, I like what you said there, Steve. You mentioned go in, right, with the mindset of serving others, right? Not thinking about yourself and, oh my goodness, I need to get clients, I need to get partnerships, I need to get JVs, collabs, right? And thinking about what you need, but is putting yourself out there and seeing how you can help others, right? That is the key thing right there. And so,
yeah.
And so when you kind of go ahead to these different marketing networking events, right, with that kind of mindset, what are some of the key elements, would you say, that would be the next stage of building your network and building those relationships? What kind of questions should we be asking?
Well, that one, you need to set up that one-on-one because those networking events, again, and the winners in networking do this, the ones that don't, is to build one-on-ones. You're going to jump in, meet 5 new people. You're just going to listen to them, see if they're a fit. You have an intuition. Yeah, I'm going to meet with Kay. Hey, Kay, here's my calendar. Let's jump on a one-on-one. Let's do a discovery call. Let's get to know each other. I tell people all the time that I mentor, you don't marry the first woman or man that you meet the first date.
Right.
So take your business, the one-on-one's your first date of building this business relationship. After 2 months, I met 500 new people, Kay.
Wow.
And my business blew up. I became the top sales guy in Info within 6 months because of networking and building those relationships. And you don't have to network to do that. Maybe it's reaching through your family and friends and, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Let's jump on a one-on-one if you're interested. And they may have 4 or 5 people for you to meet.
Oh my
It's about gathering, connecting.
So from the sounds of it, Steve, you must have gone to so many different events to have gathered all those connections up in such a short amount of time. So is that what you would suggest for, especially, I guess, newbies, right? Just starting out, very new in business, need to get the name out there, make their mark in the world. Do you suggest the very first thing that they should be doing is getting out to these different networking events and making those connections first?
Absolutely. Contacting, again, I'll bring that back because that's in my head all the time, is the way to go. And let me ask you a question out there, audience. And I want you to vision this. So you go to 5 meetings, you meet 50 people, or you do 3 one-on-one meetings all week. So you met 3 people or 50 people. Which one of those is going to help build your business? I'm not saying making sales. You hear my words now. Build your business, grow your business, not how many sales. They will come.
Doesn't building your business mean getting those sales in? Otherwise, how are you meant to build the business?
Absolutely. You need sales, you need money, you need it. But again, I'll go back to that. The first person you meet is not somebody you're going to marry in your business. You're going to build. Now, there's times I've met people, I've got them so excited. I have a great presentation skills, sales skills to understand their goals. But that's not going to happen all the time. That's my goal, because I know what I have with Infone is a game changer for the business. But again, it's cultivating, because I always tell people, you meet somebody, make a great impression, the opportunity for 10 other people to see your business is very high. So imagine I meet Kay, in 2 months, she invites or refers me 10 people. Well, guess what? That hour or 30 minutes I spent with Kay may lead to a number of sales. But again, you meet those other 10 people, and now 10. This is a compounding in the financial field we call compounding. This is network compounding. You meet somebody, you make a great impression with them. They love what you do. I get 50% of my sales now with referrals. So audience, think about that. You wake up on Monday and you got 2 email appointments and they're sales from somebody you've never met.
Wow.
That's a cool way to build your business.
That is a very cool way. And I guess it makes it so much easier as well, right? So you're cultivating, and using your words, cultivating those relationships, not just a one-hit wonder, right? You got to actually cultivate. And so when the minute you start doing that and people just send you referrals to your business, it makes it so much easier to then generate business, to then have those clients coached and whatever it may be, right? Rather than you actually going out and hunting for clients. And guess, when you kind of come from a place where, oh my goodness, I need to make money in my business, which I guess people are fearful when they're first starting out, you kind of forget about serving others. And so the best way to serve yourself is to serve others, because it's going to come back to you tenfold over. That's what I'm hearing today.
Absolutely. And the law of increase. This is a big law. When you meet these people on one-on-ones, my goal in the back of my head all the time is the law of increase. What can I do to help them before I get off the call? Most of the time, it's referrals. Last year, I did 1,000 referrals. One person. I referred out 1,000 people, because it's in my mindset when I meet Kay, who can I help Kay with? And I even asked that question. Who are you looking for to help cultivate, grow your business? Oh, I'm looking for a plumber and a landscaper and that. You know what? I know a landscaper. Here, let's connect you. Let's do an email. And that's the law of reciprocity. I can't say that word, but send it out to the universe and it's going to come back. I don't refer people. I'm not going to refer Kay here just because it refers so I get money. It's about releasing it out to the universe. And guess what? You're going to wake up and you're going to have good things happen in your business. You're going to meet somebody you never thought you'd meet. Things that just your universe and your business changes. I'll tell a quick story. I tell everybody. One day in my business, it was 2:00 and I had some no-shows, and we all have bad days in our business. It's just nature of the business, uncomfortable. So how I get comfortable is I go out and serve. So I went to the grocery store and just stand in line. I'm going, God, I got to do this, got to do this. And it just came to me. I'm going to pay for that person's groceries ahead of me. Ooh. About $50, gave the clerk my credit card. That's what you call them in the UK. I think it's clerks, whatever. That person with the money. Give him the credit card. And he's like, what do you do? I said, I want to buy this lace. She had a baby in her hand, in a cart, I think. Mm-hmm. And I said, I just want to, she goes, oh, no, you don't have to do. I said, no, you know what? It's my pleasure. I just love doing this once in a while. So I pay for the groceries. She turns around. She's got tears in her eyes. No. She goes, Steve, because she asked me my name, and Debbie was her name. I said, Debbie, yeah. She goes, I got to tell you, my husband lost her job last week. Oh, you are a blessing. This $50 is going to get us through another week. And maybe she went through the whole story. Now, I didn't do that. I didn't expect that. I was blessed by God that I was able to help somebody. So 2 things happened. My universe changed. I released out there. I was willing to serve somebody. And the next week I got a big sale. And it was tied to my universe. But I didn't expect that. But I just know good things happen. Maybe somebody calls you back, a friend you haven't talked to in a while. But here's the flip side of serving. Now Debbie is going to go home with the law of increase. Guess what she's going to do? She's going to want to pay it forward. If you know that phrase, there's a great movie about that. She's going to serve somebody who then now he built this domino effect of serving. So it's just not about my service. It's what we affect other people and how that grows. I get so passionate about that because we could change this crazy world one person at a time.
Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness. I could listen to you all day speak about that, Steve.
Thank you.
But do you know what? There's one thing that you mentioned, just kind of backtracking there. You mentioned that you did 1,000 referrals last year. And so I guess what at this point people are thinking 1,000 referrals, like, how do you keep up to date or in your mind with all these different connections that you make so you know when you speak to somebody who to connect them with? Because that's an awful lot of people to have in your head to think about. So how
There's
do you
two tips.
organize that?
Great question. This is something that's missing with people. There's two things.
Okay.
One, it's an introduction. I call them introductions. I'm introducing Kay to Barrett because I think they'd be great. And then I'm done with it. You wipe your hands of it in a good way. It's like, hey, I've released it out there, have those two meet and see what happens. So now I'm cultivating business for you, Kay, as well as for Barrett, who I'm referring. You never know. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't.
Right.
So that's the important thing to remember. Now, the second thing is you have to ask questions. And one of the great questions is, Kay, how can I help you? Who are you looking for to grow your business, or a power partner, somebody that you can partner up with, collaborate with to help both grow both of your businesses? That is the most serving attitude in the world, because guess what? I'm reaching out to you. How can I help you? And that's another thing you can ask. How can I help you? I don't keep I couldn't tell you all 1,000 that were. I just know keeping track. Okay, I did 5 this week. I did 10 this week.
Right.
And I kind of run the numbers. But introductions are all about releasing. You don't worry about the outcome. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, it wasn't a very good introduction, I always tell them that's all I'm doing is introduction. We never know in this world. Again, it's serving. Here's what I'm doing. And if I find another one, I'll take care of you with that one as well.
I see. Okay. But also want to make a point here is the people, I guess, we have in our networks, in our Rolodex, the people that, we're referring other people to, we got to make sure as well that, I guess, their ethics, their morals sit in the right place, right? Because you don't want to be referring people, I guess, that aren't going to be serving. So we need to kind of keep that in the forefront of our mind as well. Cultivating the right relationships, not just anyone that you meet.
Great point. And being such a young girl and me being in my 60s, 61, hearing the word Rolodex is really cool because I grew up with those. So power to you. And that leads to another great tip for your audience, Kay, that will blow up. If you're looking to grow your business, this is the tip I tell all my clients and people I mentor. Reach out to your family and friends. Guess what? I've talked to over 100 businesses over the last few months. Every single one of them, more than 50% of their family and friends do not know what they're doing. That they're a podcast, which you do, help with podcasts, or me with InPhone, or insurance agent, realtor. And I've had clients do this. Okay, Zakiah was her name. I said, reach out to 100 of your family and friends and just say, hey guys, I'm a coach, holistic coach, and da-da-da. Real quick sentence. If you know anybody interested, let me know. She had 25 booked appointments and 5 sales in 3 weeks.
Wow.
They go, I didn't know you did this. I need help with my business holistically.
Wow.
Probably 30, 40% of the people responded that way. The other people, it's just putting it out there. Again, releasing it. And that's happened with every client that I've reached out. They're all saying, you're right, my family and friends, because we don't think of that. Right. We think of business as a new person. But you get one family and friend, and by the way, hopefully, I'm sure this is true, your family and friends love you and care about you.
Yeah.
So when you put it out there for them, one lady gave her 10 referrals. Oh, you need to talk to this, you need to talk to this.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but again, don't always think the person that you're talking to, think of the people that they know. That's what's going to help your business. And a real quick story, I got a lot of quick stories.
Go for it.
I live really close to Zoom. I'm about 15 minutes away. And when I played softball, I played against the Zoom team. So the vice president came over to me probably around 2015, 2016. So COVID, Mr. COVID, I call it Mr. COVID, all this stuff didn't happen. And he goes, Steve, let me ask you a question. Would you rather meet 2 people a day or 20 people? I said, Tony, 20. It's easy. He goes, that's what we do with Zoom. So in 2015, 2016, in my business at the time, I was Zooming with people. Never weren't big ones like these, but think about your opportunities now. There's over 9,000 networking meetings in the United States, groups in the United States that have hundreds of thousands of meetings a week. You have the opportunity to go out there and reach out and do it, and just go do it. Don't be tied to the result of networking. Just go out there and meet people.
Yeah.
Like, think of this Tinder for business. This might be a bad analogy, but just swipe right at each networking group. That was a good one. I'm gonna remember that. But
oh my
goodness. Go out, get it. So that's what I say.
Right. Oh my goodness. Now, I love that story, and I love the analogy of Tinder. Right. I just now it's got me asking more questions about how do you know Tinder so well, Steve? Right. But we're not going to go down that route. It's a whole different conversation. But what I wanted to really kind of help the audience understand is InPhone, right? Because this is a rock star invention, right? A system that people can implement easily into their businesses, in their lives, and help them build those relationships. So could you please, for our audience, explain a little bit more what Info is and how it works?
Well, let me ask the audience a question. Think about this. I'm going to ask you, Kay. Okay. Is $50,000 a lot of money?
It can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, here's why I asked that. So when I had my brick and mortar recycling business from 2006 to 2013, I got a call into 2006. Hey, Steve. I said, hey, John, what's up? He goes, I've been looking for your phone number. I had some referrals for you, but I had to give them to somebody else because they needed help right away. It was about $2,500 that I lost.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
What the heck? How do I fix? So I tried to figure out how to fix that. Right. So by 2013, I kind of kept track every time I got a call or an email. Hey, I just found your email. It was about over $50,000 in income that I lost because people couldn't find me. That's what we do. They can now find you. And guess where they find you?
Where?
On their cell phone. Right on their cell phone.
You mean the device that every single person has, that phone?
That's the one. So I'm not the creative, and I appreciate you saying. Ron Sullivan, who is my partner and a creator, back in 2017, he worked for a company and it was at a trade show, and there was business cards everywhere on the floor. There's got to be a better way. Oh, and wow. So he developed InPhone, but he didn't make it just a digital card. We have a billboard on top that markets your business, shows your testimonials, your tagline, your mission, why you're doing your business, which is what you want to do. If you know Donald Miller, he does your story brand. He tells your story for your business is key. But how do you get it out there? And how do you get people to see it multiple times? Well, what we do is we turn your business, Kay, we take your headshot and we put a web app, it's called, on the home screen. So you see your TikTok, your LinkedIn, your calendar, Angry Birds, all those crazy apps that we have. Well, you sit there, your headshot sits there on that same home screen. And guess what? The average is 100 times swipes a day that people go through their phone. Maybe they see you 5 times, maybe they see you 20 times, but you're sitting there. Oh yeah, that's Kay. That's that awesome gal I met about podcasting. I've got Joe Smith. He's looking to do a podcast. I need to refer her. Well, guess what? She clicks on it, pulls it up. You see the QR code. There's a QR code there. They scan it. And now she can refer Kay to anybody she wants. Or we can just send the link out and then the refer Kay. But here's the thing. It's just not an email, phone number, or website, which is our usual referral tools.
Right.
And it doesn't excite people. It's everything about your business, your YouTube channel, all your social media, your calendar appointments. You can take payments from your InPhone. Of course, your call, text, email. How many times have you messed up an email? I know I just did a couple of weeks ago, spelled the email wrong.
Right.
Well, it's embedded in there in a button. You never have to make a mistake on that email or send that text. Hey, Kay, what was your email again? Is it K.Suthar? Is it Kay Suthar? Right. Is it Gmail? And it happens all the time. We run our businesses knowing that's going to happen. Another quick story that's relatable to that is I have friends that own a bar here I'm in Northern California. And he said he knows that his bartenders take cash. It's once he catches them, of course, they lose their job. But there's a 15, 20%, I don't know what they call it, but of money that's lost. They embed that into their budget. Well, emotionally, that's what we do when we lose a lost referral or people can't find us. It's out of sight, out of mind, because we don't know how many times, I lost 50,000, but how many other people didn't reach out to me because they never could find me to give me a referral. So it's a lot more than 50,000, but it's happening to people every day.
Yeah. Wow.
Loss is you lose your contact information. Right. So putting it on the phone but it works on the iPads, tablets, phones, any phone, doesn't matter what version. We know the problem with apps.
Yeah.
Like it just happened. I have a mini iPad. I have an app that doesn't work anymore. It's too old and it can't be upgraded.
Right.
So really it's garbage. But guess what? I could put my info on my iPad, on my mini iPad, and I'm still good. I could still use it. So
yeah. So it's versatile. And just from what you were saying, I picked up on, first of all, it's on your mobile phone, right? Correct. Everyone has one. Everyone is constantly on there. And like you're saying, they swipe constantly during the day. And the second thing that I really liked, that I picked up, is that because they're swiping on the phone so often and they see you, you're always forefront of their mind, right? So if they do meet anyone else that they feel that needs your service, they will have you in the forefront of their mind to refer that person over to you so that you're not forgotten about. Because it can happen when you're meeting loads of people and going to different events, exhibitions, whatever it is. It can happen where you forget about other contacts, and so you're always there in the forefront of their mind, which I love, right? And
yeah,
it does so much as well. It does so much. You've got everything under one kind of system, one app on your phone. I mean, you can even take payments. I didn't know it could actually do that, but that's amazing, right? As business owners, if we connect with someone, at an event and they're ready to go and they want, you to be their coach or, want your services, and just doing it right there without having to fiddle with links or Stripe or merchant accounts or whatever it is, you can do it all in that one app, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and how cool is that? You're doing business right there.
Yeah.
And we all know you let somebody go after they're excited about your business. Somebody may come in, oh, why would you work with Kay? That's too much. You get that outside influence. Yes. We always want to try to get the sale right there. Exactly. The other thing is podcasters. Since I know that's what you do, I have our podcasters put their podcast button, because I hear this all the time from podcasters. They get a subscriber goes, hey, what's your link again? I lost your podcast link. Where is it? Where do I find it?
Yeah. Oh,
just go to my info and hit podcast, and boom, it pops up all my episodes. Complete game changer for podcasts.
Oh, that is amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness. You know what, Steve? At this point, I know people are going, oh my goodness, I need to speak to Steve. How do I connect with him? So where can they go to reach out, connect with you, or even speak to you a little bit more about how this all works?
Thank you, Kay. I'd love to. You just go to my link. It's infone.co/SR1, infone.co/SR1. It'll open up my info, which has my communication tools, email, text, call. You can use any one of those, and reach out to me. I'd love to have a one-on-one with you and give you some of my resources. I always, like I said, law of increase. If you want to get help with your business, I'm willing to do that on a discovery call and see what we can do to help you.
Oh my goodness, guys. And remember, all the links that have been given out in this episode will be in the show notes. So if you missed anything, please scroll down, grab those links, reach out to Steve, connect with him, see how else he can help you. He's got tons of resources, tons of connections. Make sure you go ahead and reach out to him. Steve, before we come to the end of this episode, do you have any last words for our audience?
I do. One tip I tell everybody that I meet for the first time or remind them, get better 1% every day. Meaning January 1st, 2023. Start today, because I don't know how many days are left, but let's use January 2023. You wake up, your resolution, which I'm not a big fan of, but if that's what you are, I suggest and strongly suggest you say, I'm going to get better 1% every day through 2023. You'll be better 365% in your business and personally in 2023. I want you to think about this. How much will your business grow when you're at 365% better? How much more income will you make? And the most important thing to me is how many more people are you able to serve by getting better? Because every time I get better, I can make other people better and help me and serve other people in such a gracious way.
Yeah, I love that. Once again, you're an absolute rock star, Steve. Thank you for coming on to the show. And oh my goodness, so many golden nuggets in such a short amount of time. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast. We got to do this again soon.
For sure. Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.